From the leaked pricing of the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro till Google announcing its official shutdown of Stadia service, there has been a lot of things happening in the space of tech, and I'm really excited to talk all about that by myself because this is going to be really interesting. This is one of a kind of a podcast. If you haven't heard us before, well, I'm your host Arnav and you are listening to Tech and a Podcast. I'm really excited and also nervous in the same time because I've already recorded the introduction part over 5 times and this is the 6th time I believe, and I hope it doesn't go wrong. Anyways, let's directly start with the first and foremost news that we have, which is the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro's specs as well as the price being leaked. Now, when it comes to Pixel and its history of leaks, there has been a lot of ways in which Pixel has been leaked. In fact, I also heard that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro got leaked somewhere from Nigeria, and one of the YouTubers also had an access toward that smartphone, through a point of contact where he got the camera samples and all those stuff before the launch itself. For Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, we already know that, one of the stores in Bangladesh had the phone unboxed and they had posted it in their Facebook page. Even I also got in touch with them and tried to get some snippets of that particular phone where they actually accepted it, but then I didn't get a reply after that. So, didn't bother about that much. Pixel 7 and 7 Pro's official renders came in and we all knew how it is going to look because Google already revealed that how it is going to look before itself. So we know how it's going to look. But in terms of the specs, we didn't know what it's going to come completely with because we all know that it's going to come with the Tensor processor. But apart from that, we didn't know that what it's going to have new in terms of the previous Pixel 6 and 6 Pro. Well, from the leaked specs, I am able to find that the Pixel 7 will have a new 11 megapixel front facing camera which can probably record 4K because Pixel 6, which I have right now, is not able to record 4K just because it has a lower megapixel sensor and it is also not able to do the face unlock thing. And that's why I think Google didn't want to bring face unlock feature to the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro because during the launch they actually teased in one of their videos saying that the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro will come with face unlock. But it seems that they're not bringing that feature until the launch of Pixel 7. But with the Pixel 7 specs being leaked, I can see that the 11 megapixel front-facing sensor is something that Google has upgraded from the previous generation. So I think this time there's going to be 2 things. 1 is the face unlock feature and 2 is going to be the 4K 30fps video recording. Probably for the Pro variant, it'll have a 4K 60fps video recording capability, whereas the normal variant will have a 4K 30fps is what I expect. I don't know. I really don't know what's going to happen. But apart from that, if you see the other specs, well, the Pixel 7 will have a 4700 mAh battery, which is okay, which is like similar what it had in previous generation. I think my Pixel 6 is having around 4600 mAh. I'm not sure about the battery size. But yeah, 4700 mAh battery seems to be interesting. All I need is it to hold the charge for a little bit because the Pixel 6 sucks in terms of battery. It only lasts barely for 5 to 6 hours of screen on time, which is really bad when you talk about flagship processor. I do agree that flagship smartphones doesn't come with a good battery. Most of the 8 Gen 1, 8 plus Gen 1 phones don't perform as good as a budget or a mid-range phone. It's because the processor is heavy, all the other tasks happening inside it is heavy, and I completely understand that part. But still, I am crossing my fingers for the Pixel 7 to have a better battery life and also a better overall experience because the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro has gone into a lot of controversies and problems because of the bugs it had, because of many things. Yeah, from the leaked spec, I can confirm that the 11 megapixel sensor is going to be new. And apart from that, we also know that Tensor 2nd generation is also a new processor. But then when you talk about the Pixel 7 Pro spec, well, it's not very different from what it was last year. It is having the same curved 120Hz LTPO panel with 2K resolution. It is having the same triple camera setup, a normal, an ultra wide, a telephoto, a 4x telephoto, the same front facing camera. Everything is pretty same except the design and the processor inside it, which is the Tensor G2, which you all know. So I think I'm really excited for the normal variant in terms of it having a new front facing camera sensor. But if you ask me which one will I buy personally, well, I will go for the Pixel 7 Pro because I really like Pixel 6 Pro's design and the way the display is built. So I like curved displays a lot because I've also used the Samsung Galaxy S8, so that's why I love that kind of a form factor, and I'm looking forward to buy the Pixel 7 Pro. And yeah, let's talk about the pricing. Well, the pricing for the Pixel 7 seems to start from 599 USD, which is somewhere around 45,000 rupees, I believe. And the Pixel 7 Pro's pricing is around 899 USD, which is somewhere around 72,000 rupees. Now, when it comes to the pricing part here in India, I don't think so Google will price it anything lower than 85,000 for the Pixel 7 Pro. And for the Pixel 7, they won't price anything lower than 55,000, because there are two things. One, these phones are to be imported, and two, the Pixel 6a's pricing is around 10,000 rupees higher than what it is sold in the USA. So these are the two reasons why I think, from what I've read online, there is around 20% of tax that these companies have to pay while they import smartphones or any other components. So if that is correct, if my prediction is correct, well, Pixel 7 Pro will come somewhere under 85,000 and the Pixel 7 will come somewhere under 60 to 65,000. Let's see, fingers crossed. So yeah, when it comes to the US pricing, which got leaked, it is 599 for the 7 and 899 for the 7 Pro. Now, in terms of India's launch, well, just now before recording the podcast, I saw a tweet from Google India which confirmed that the pre-order starts for India on October 6th, 9:30 p.m. through Flipkart. So yes, that has been confirmed because, right before I was writing notes for the podcast, what I had written on the notes is, when will be the launch date. But just now, before clicking the start button, I saw the tweet of Google India where they have been confirming that, yes, the pre-order will start from 9:30 p.m. on October 6th via Flipkart. So, from the leaks that I've got, Google India is planning to, sell this smartphone for a much lower price during the Flipkart Diwali sale. But these are all speculations because we know how much the Pixel 6a launched here for. It launched for around 43,000. And now, during the Big Billion Day, it is sold for 35,000 rupees, which is around 8 to 9,000 rupees off from the actual pricing of the smartphone, which is pretty impressive, right? And if you have the applicable card, you can get that particular phone for as low as 28,000 rupees, which is very, very good deal for Pixel 6a. And then when we talk about Pixel and all those stuff, we have to talk about an accessory which is launching with the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro, which is the Pixel Watch. Now, if you ask me, will it launch here in India? It is a very difficult question to answer because we don't know whether Google is eyeing for the launch of Pixel Watch here in India. Of course, it's going to launch in the other countries, but we don't know whether Google will bring it here in India. And even if they bring it, we don't know how much they are going to price it for. But from my guess, I think Google will bring it here. And if they are going to bring it here, they will be pricing it around somewhere like 30 to 35,000 rupees. I don't know. These are my pure speculations based on the pricing of the Galaxy Watch 5. I am guessing like that. But from what I have seen when it comes to the pricing in the other countries, the Pixel Watch is going to be sold for somewhere around $499 US, which is more than what the Galaxy Watch 5 LTE version costs, I think. So, and apart from that, I also saw a leak. It's not a leak, it was a post from a subreddit where a person posted a screenshot of the Pixel Watch fast pair being detected in his Pixel phone. So it seems that that particular guy was walking somewhere inside a shopping mall and he suddenly got the Google Fast Pair notification of Pixel Watch, which is surprising. And as soon as he got it, he took a screenshot and posted it in 95 Google's Reddit. And then they made an article which I read today evening about, and it seems that there are many Pixel Watch and Pixel 7s in the wild right now out there being under test, being under the hands of many black market dealers, and I really always think that how all these smartphones end up in the hands of these black market dealers, because when I saw the footage of Pixel 7 Pro being unboxed in Bangladesh, that too in a smartphone shop, I was quite amazed because I started thinking that how did they actually get the smartphone in the first place. So yeah, we are talking about the Pixel Watch. We all know what it is going to come with. It is said that it's going to come with the same W920 chipset which is in the Galaxy Watch 4, Watch 5. But what I am expecting is the name for what Google is trying to give for their processor, because I don't think so they will keep the same W920 which was the name given by Samsung. They might change the name to something like Tensor for Watch. I don't know, which we had already discussed during the previous episode of podcast. But yeah, let's see what it is with the Pixel Watch. by next week, by now we would be knowing the price. So yeah, it's quite interesting. I'm really excited and thrilled for the Pixel 7 and 7 Pro's launch event, because it's also said that they will be showing a sneak peek of the Pixel Fold and the Pixel Tablet, much more detail. Pixel Fold, a sneak peek. Let's see what's going to happen. Now, when talking about the Google launch event that's going to happen next week, these were the things that I really wanted to discuss: Pixel 7 and 7 Pro's pricing, Pixel Watch and Pixel Fold, and blah 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 blah. So previous week there also was a post where the Samsung Galaxy S23's official renders came in from 91 Mobiles and On Leaks, and from the design I can see that the S23 seems pretty impressive, but the S23 Ultra really disappointed me because it looks like the S22 Ultra. There's nothing that's changed in terms of the design. I know it's going to come with a 200 megapixel sensor. It's speculated that it's going to come with a 200 megapixel sensor. But from the looks, it actually looks like an S22 Ultra. But if you ask me the looks of the S23, well, the S22 had a camera bump or the camera guard kind of a thing for the lenses. But this time around, they are only planning to keep the camera lens separately, like what you see in the S22. So the S23 looks really fantastic. I hope it also feels really good to use. It will feel really good to use because the S22 and S22 Plus were loved by many people. Even the S22 Ultra was also loved by many people. So, I am really also excited for the S23. From the design leaks, as far as I can see, it is pretty impressive. It is not very bad. But I'm really excited for the S23 than the S23 Ultra, because the S23 Ultra literally looks like an S22 Ultra. There's nothing that's different from the design that has been leaked online. So yeah, when we talk about Samsung, there was an interesting thing that happened last week, which, as you all might have guessed, Mr. Who's the Boss video. So I didn't watch the video when it actually came. Usually I watch this video whenever it drops, but I watched that video pretty late, and when I watched it, I was like, oh my god, what is Samsung doing right now? I mean, it is pretty evident that all the batteries had a 5-year recycle seal, which told that it's only safe to use for 5 years. I'm sure it's pretty much same for all the batteries in every other smartphone. But when I saw the video of Mr. Who's the Boss, in which MKBHD, Sam from Mr. Mobile, and many other YouTubers confirming that it is actually true, it is something that usually happens with Samsung smartphones, I was pretty shocked, because I had such a good reputation when it comes to Samsung and their smartphones, especially their flagships, because their flagships really stand out. They are one of the toughest competitors to iPhone. But I was really shocked to see their flagships having this battery bulging issue. And of course, it had a scientific reason behind it. The liquid leaking and, over the time, kept inside a drawer, not being used. There are many reasons, but it was not the case with other smartphones. Most of these YouTubers and content creators were only complaining and pointing their fingers towards Samsung smartphones. And Mr. Who's the Boss had a lot of smartphones lying in his rack where nothing except the Samsung ones had problems. But the Samsung ones surprisingly had problems, and it seems that from what I've heard, the problem is with the QC of Samsung. When smartphones are being manufactured. Even today, when I had a chat with one of the audiences, when I was talking about QC, he immediately asked me, bro, what is QC? And I was like, QC means quality check. So whenever a product is being manufactured, QC happens. A line of people will sit and check the finalized product, the final product before it's being packed, check whether it's working properly and everything. And that's when, if the person who's checking is not properly checking, comes a manufacturing defect. It seems that Samsung is having a lot of problem in terms of its QC, and probably they will address all these battery bulging issues in the upcoming S23. Let's hope that happens. I mean, it's really weird to talk all alone, because if there was another person, I could have asked him some questions where he would have answered. I actually tried to invite a guest, but he was not available today, so I decided to do solo podcasting. But I think I'll improve in the upcoming episodes, because I think for the next 2 or 3 episodes I might end up doing solo podcasts if there are no guests coming in. Anyway, so we talked about the Galaxy S23's design. We talked about the Galaxy smartphones battery bulging issue. Now let's talk about 5G in India, which is a long discussed topic. It has been so long since I've been waiting for 5G, because Of course, it's not going to have the 1 gig speed. Initially, 5G rollout will be very limited. It will be only rolled out to certain metro cities. They will be only focusing on the ultra wide band frequencies where, the signal coverage matters more than the speed. From what I've heard, brands will focus on the coverage rather than the speed. And only after a certain point of time, they will start installing the higher frequency antennas, which will give faster internet speed. And apart from that, when we talk about 5G, of course, Jio is planning to launch a 5G smartphone here in India, and we got the leaked spec of it. So when it comes to the processor, it's going to be the Snapdragon 480. It is sad that Google is also working with Jio to build that particular smartphone. It's going to be a pure stock Android smartphone, I believe, and that's why Jio has been saying that they are working with Google closely to make that smartphone. So yeah, it's going to come with Snapdragon 480, 4 gigs of RAM, 13 plus 2 megapixel dual rear facing camera, a 6.5 inch 90 Hz IPS LCD panel, which is pretty darn good. And people are saying that it's going to be priced somewhere under 12,000 rupees. It's going to be the cheapest 5G smartphone in the Indian market. They told that their 5G services will start from Diwali, which is somewhere around 22 to 24 October. I'm waiting for Jio to come because, I really want to test 5G in my phone. What do you guys think about Jio phone 5G? Let me know your thoughts. If you're watching through video, let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you're listening through audio podcast, let me know your thoughts. You can tweet it out to me at TechArenaOFCL on Twitter. So yeah, the Jio phone with the Snapdragon 480, 4 gigs of RAM, 13 plus 2 megapixel dual rear facing camera, 6.5 inch 90 Hz panel seems pretty interesting. The last and final story today is Google Stadia being shut down. It's pretty interesting and it's also sad because I didn't expect that Google Stadia, a service like Google Stadia, will come to an end this soon. It is a really good technology because cloud gaming is something that I felt that will grow exponentially over the years, but it seems that it is not, and that's why Google has decided to step down from the Stadia services. Although in one of their press notes they said that they will continue as an integrated part of services like YouTube and other services. We don't know what Google's plan is ahead with Google Stadia, but it seems that the employees who are working for Google Stadia will be split across the company in different departments. So that's going to be a different process altogether. But I'm really sad that Google Stadia has come to an end because it was such a good project. People who couldn't afford high-end gaming PCs or high-end console could actually play games by having just a good high-speed internet. I know it was a subscription service. I know you should pay something that's equivalent to a Netflix subscription and start playing games without having a PC. I do agree. But, rather than having a high-speed, gaming rig or a really good next-gen console, whenever you want, you can pay and play the game. That's the concept of Google Stadia. And now, if Google decides to exit from the cloud gaming space, I don't know what is going to be the case with Amazon, because Amazon has a cloud gaming service called Luna, I believe, and Microsoft also has their cloud gaming services, which is Xbox Game Cloud X. I don't remember the name. I don't know the situation when it comes to the other companies who have adopted the same service as cloud gaming, because Google Stadia was one such service that was pretty constant amidst the gaming companies, because FIFA 23, which recently got dropped, is also available on Google Stadia. It was even available when Google Stadia was first came in. So, it's pretty weird that Google Stadia is coming to an end. So with that, the podcast is coming to an end. And just because it's a solo podcast, I decided to cut short it down. So, let me know your thoughts about my way of talking alone. And if there are some things that needs to be improved, that will be improved in the coming episodes, because this is the first time that I'm doing a solo podcast. So yeah, that is it for today's episode of podcast. Meet you guys in the next week. Next week we'll be having a lot of things to discuss, especially about the Pixel launch. I'm really excited. I don't know whether I'll end up ordering one or not on that day, but I'm sure I'm going to grab Pixel 7 or 7 Pro. Let's see, fingers crossed. Let me have the Pixel 7 Pro. So anyways, this is me, Arnav, signing off from this episode of podcast. Hope to see you soon. Love you. Cheers. Bye-bye.